Knew we were going to talk about it because the Cleveland Browns decided to waive wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. from their team. Lions right now are the first team with the first priority in the waiver wire. Should the Detroit Lions go ahead and pick up Odell Beckham Jr.? We're going to get into it right now.
It's LeGarrette Blunt here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, MicroMike, man.
Hey, Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch MicroMike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron. Big shout out to MicroMike and YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
If you're watching this, you might as well subscribe. Why? Because I talk all things Detroit Lions, news, and rumors. We get into everything Detroit. That's what this channel is all about. Plus, we do live shows. Oh, it is an awesome time, especially on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. So, subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit that like button. Let's get to 200 likes in this video. This one is going to be a controversial video. Half the audience is going to get mad. The other half is going to get mad for different reasons. With that said, hey, something we're going to have to talk about, and that's OBJ. So, okay, let's get into it right now. Regardless of what you feel, we're going to just kind of dig in a little bit about a potential of the Detroit Lions putting in a waiver claim for Odell Beckham Jr. First off, if you don't know what it is, I'll break it down for you really quick. Waiver wire, you have teams that are bad. They get the better spot, just like the NFL draft. And right now, the Detroit Lions are the team that would be able to get any player that is waived, even Odell Beckham Jr. Right now, we're there because why? We are bad at 0-8. That's how it works. The teams will have to take on the contract, and they stay with the team. Now, OBJ was waived by the Cleveland Browns, no longer on their football team, so the Lions have an opportunity to select him. We're going to talk about the pros, we're going to talk about the cons, we're going to talk about the contract, we're going to talk about everything about this, and at the end, we're going to see what everyone thinks, the fan base, about this. Let's get into the details. Do you want the Lions to put a waiver claim in for Odell Beckham Jr.? Why for yes and for no? Let's get this poll going in the comment section. I'm curious to see what you guys think. First off, let's start with Odell Beckham Jr.'s stats. Now, we know Odell Beckham Jr., when he was with the Giants, he did really good, made some spectacular plays, but in Cleveland, he hasn't been that dynamic player. Now, if you're going to listen to Odell Beckham Jr., he's going to tell you because he wasn't getting targeted enough, just like the prototypical diva wide receiver would say. And they have other weapons on that team. Odell Beckham Jr. wants to be the number one guy. In Cleveland, he was not. So his stats are not that great. Right now, so far this season, he is 17 receptions, 232 yards, 13.6 yards of reception, and 0 touchdowns. Nothing to bang and hang your hat on regarding that. So from a stats perspective, it is definitely underperforming from what you would expect with the name such as Odell Beckham Jr. But could it be a situation where he wasn't getting enough targets, he was open, it was just simply not being thrown his way? It's very possible, but also he's been dealing with injury issues throughout his career, and it's no different this season, just like he have in previous seasons. So definitely the stats are not that great, but there are multiple factors, reason why that is the case. What about the pros of going ahead and putting a waiver claim for Odell Beckham Jr.? Because there are some pros. Let's definitely talk about it. First off, his contract is $7.5 million, 2 years. His bonus is already paid for by the Cleveland Browns, so it's actually a really easy contract to work with. It has absolutely no pain towards the Detroit Lions at all. So from a contractual standpoint, it's actually excellent. Now, another pro is he would immediately be the number one wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. Tyrell Williams, concussion. Brashard Perriman, released. Quintez Cephas, out. So he would immediately come in and be the top target for the Lions as a position of need right now. The Lions really need a receiver, and he would be the best one available for the Lions to get. So he fills that need. If the Lions put in a claim for him, it's not that they don't know anything. Because GM John Dorsey of the Cleveland Browns, formerly, is actually part of the Lions staff now, and he's the one that wanted to get the trade for OBJ to Cleveland. So he understands a little bit about Odell Beckham Jr. He understands his ways. He understands the positives that he brings and the negatives. So you have a connection that is there. He understands the player more than most. That makes sense. Now, if the Detroit Lions decide to claim him, say it doesn't work out, well, you can trade him after the offseason or just simply release him. It's not going to hurt the cap anyway because his contract has already been bonused up by Cleveland Browns. So easy for the Lions to take on, and you can attempt to trade him as well if it doesn't work out after this season. Actually fairly easy for the Lions. Not too bad, but there is some cons as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We're literally 10 subscribers away from 17,000. If you're watching this anyways and you're not subscribed, you might as well subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions. First off, we all know this. He is a diva wide receiver. He was a diva when he was with the Giants, and obviously he's not as outspoken when he was with the Cleveland Browns, but his dad coming out and doing a diss video about the situation in Cleveland, as well as LeBron James doing the tweet, trying to get him out there. It shows that he still has that diva mentality because no doubt about it, he had them do that for him. He's an individual. He's a little bit outspoken. Do you want a diva wide receiver on an 0-8 Detroit Lions where we're having a situation, we're trying to build a culture in Detroit? Is that something you want to wreck? He is going to a bad team. Do you think Odell Beckham Jr. would want to go from a 4-4 win football team to an 0-8 team that has no way of making the playoffs? Probably not. And I'm going to assume he would not be happy about that. And that is something that you don't want to throw an unhappy player into an unhappy situation. It would make things worse. And, of course, he has an injury history. This is something that we're dealing with so far. The Detroit Lions, we have a ton of players that are injured. Cephas, injured. Ragnow, injured. We talk it all the time. Don't pick up injured players. And he has an injury history. So you're adding to that, resulting in something that we definitely been trying to get away from, but not if we claim him. Another thing I want to talk about, was this actually a 4D chess move? And you say, why would you say this, Mike? Well, we heard rumors before the trade deadline that the Detroit Lions wanted to acquire and trade for a wide receiver. We did already with Trinity Benson. We've seen that Brad Holmes aggressive in that manner. So was this a move that was sort of planned out? Let me tell you why. They understand that they would be the first team in a waiver claim. Maybe they knew that the Cleveland Browns are going to go ahead and release Odell Beckham Jr., so why make a trade for a player when you know Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be waived, and with you having that first dibs on the waiver claim, you don't have to trade. You get a wide receiver right then and there. Easy contract because it's 2 years, so he can be on the team. Easy payouts, and you're getting the best receiver probably you could in a trade atmosphere before the trade deadline, but you're getting him for nothing. So, was this a 4-day chess move? I think it possibly could be. If the Lions do claim him, I think it was. And that would be a very good move by Brad Holmes from a contract and acquiring player standpoint. I'm not saying a good move for bringing on the team. That would obviously be yet to be seen if they brought him on. But from a economic and team acquiring talent standpoint, just that well, because you're not paying anything out. So that is an interesting point to this conversation as the next 24 to 48 hours immenses, and we'll see if the Lions put a claim on him. Overall, there is good and bad for the Detroit Lions to get Odell Beckham Jr. From a contract standpoint, I would like it, and it makes a lot of sense. Literally, it doesn't hurt the cap. It doesn't hurt the situation economically. And for the future, you could release him, and it's no big deal. It's not going to hurt you down the long haul. From a building a chemistry standpoint, it definitely could hamper that, but you're 0-8. So if they decided to go ahead and claim him, I understand it. Be more talent on the team. Maybe we can have a better chance to win a football game this year and not go 0-17. I would understand it from both sides of the aisle. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Do you want the Lions to put in a waiver claim for Odell Beckham Jr.? It's simple. Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comment section. In the upcoming videos, we're going to be having the One Pride podcast, obviously, every single Thursday, so that'll be next week. Also, Lions watch party when the Lions face the Steelers in over a week. And obviously, any breaking news, that's what we do on this channel. So get ready for that. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any Detroit Lions information.